Lynn from Puppy Girl Designs. And today we're going to review different methods for transferring your embroidery patterns to your background fabric. You never know when the inspiration will strike, so let me share different methods with you. Probably one of the oldest methods is to use natural sunlight. I love using a comfortable window. This is just the right height for me. I have taped the pattern on the window with painter's tape and then have taped my fabric over it as well, lining them up. And I tape that down so it's nice and firm. If your pattern happens to have, like this, some straight lines, it can be a little difficult to stay right on the line. I'm known to use my trusty ruler. So here, I'm measuring it up. Oh, and I'm using a number 2 pencil, mechanical pencil. And I create my line. And I create my line down here. And I find that I can continue with the different lines and they stay pretty straight as we do it. Okay, when it comes to some of the curves, I just stretch the fabric Now you'll notice that I've chosen a tone-on-tone fabric. It has beautiful white snowflakes. So I think this will look particularly good. This is my holiday house fabric. And you can see that the pattern has been transferred. Okay, so we're going to put this back up here for the time being. Now, should you wish to transfer at night when you don't have an open window, I have 2 other methods that I use. One, I use my Sharpie and I make sure I have a surface underneath so that I don't put any marks on my table or my cutting mat. And then I just very slowly follow the lines. Okay? And so when it comes time to put fabric over it, you'll be able to see it. See how nice that comes up? Now, if you're a little bit adventurous, I've been known to use a 13 by 9 inch glass baking pan. I tape down my pattern and tape down my fabric and then turn on the flashlight on my phone and slide it underneath. You can also do this with a set of small Christmas lights, whatever. And then I'm able to transfer the pattern onto it. Notice I use soft strokes. And you'll see how I've started to transfer the pattern over by using my phone. Another way is to use a light box. Now, yes, you can get a light box in most catalogs. They can be a little bit expensive, but it certainly makes a great Christmas gift. Be sure to tell your loved ones you'd like one. You also might want to check out your local's Craigslist or Facebook for sale. Rhodey was able to get me this tracing box for $15. Cost way more when it was first around. And it provides me with a wonderful raised bed. And again, I simply add tape. Make sure my fabric is straight, not real tight, but tight enough to stay in place. See how I'm taping over the fabric and the pattern and the light box. There you go. And again, with my mechanical pencil, why not use my ruler? Any straight edge will work well for you. And then just pulling the fabric tight, I do the curves. I take my time. I use soft strokes. And when you turn off the light, see? Now you'll notice soft little strokes, okay? I don't worry about that. I can go back with my eraser and clean them up. See? Works out very well. Now, I have drawn them on pretty dark for what I normally would do. When the project goes into the hoop and I'm ready to stitch, I've been known, I'd start right down here in this corner, and I would actually erase a good portion. Do you see how much lighter that line is? I would stitch there, and then I would take a little bit more. Okay, and I do that as I go along. I'm coming up here. See, I can still see the main line. Makes it very nice. It works well for those of us who have older eyes, and this allows us to have good control over where we're putting our stitches. Now, supposing you're like me and you like to put things on dark fabric. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. One of my favorite patterns, and one of my first patterns, was Winter Blues. I used a navy blue batik, and this is a pair of cardinals. Cardinal is out eating suet off of the pine cone while his mate waits inside. I used white floss to simulate a snowstorm. Worked out very well, but it was difficult to see through, even with a light box. So I came up with a different way. I was in college at the time, and I had need for gray or black transfer paper, graphite transfer paper from the art supply store. So I went back and I got a roll of white just to see if it would work as well. For some of you that have made clothes, you understand the tracing paper idea when you had the waxy sheets to make the marks. Okay, so here I'm going to put my fabric down face up. Let's use this. All right, I'm going to tape the fabric down. Again, I pull it a little bit, not too tight so that it puckers, but I want it to be as flat as possible. I'm going to put a piece of the graphite paper, shiny side down. Okay. And then I will take, hang on. I will bring back the pattern that I was working on earlier. I create 2 registration marks with my Sharpie. I do press a little hard because I want to make sure it shows up on the other side. And when I pull back the paper and the graphite, I see that the registration marks have come out. I would then take embroidery floss, just like I've done here in my newest project, and have actually made the registration marks more obvious. So when I go to perhaps another section of the pattern, lining up the registration marks again will allow me to be in place. So, okay. Again, I use a number 2 pencil, but I take away the point. I don't want the point. You can also use a ballpoint pen, or if you're a decorative painter, a stylus is wonderful. Has that little ball. So without a pencil point, I'm going to trace the lines just nice and smooth. You know, trees aren't perfectly symmetrical. And now we're going to do our cardinal. Don't worry about any little residuals of the tracing paper being left on because of your fingers holding it on, because you can easily brush it away at a later time. Add my feathers. And here's a perfect time. I love doing pine cones. So I'm going to trace the outside of the pine cone. And I'm going to start here at the top row. And I'll simply trace. I just very easily, very relaxed. You don't have to be worried if your pine cone petals are a little bit different than the pattern, because out in real life, no two are the same. And so now you get to see how the pattern would look. Isn't that pretty cool? And if for some reason, something's gotten, how about, see, that's all it took to make it go away. Well, how about in handling it, I made that section go away. I match up my registration marks, and I do that with a couple of pins. I go right down, right, and find the center right there. So I make sure my pin comes right down there. See? See how easy that is? And then you just pin them together. Stick my graphite paper shiny side down. And the line is right back. Does it get any easier than that? I don't think so. As you can tell, I enjoy texture on my backgrounds. I enjoy darker colors. It's a little bit different. And hopefully you'll take time to try it out too. If you have any questions, please reach out to me at lynn@puppygirldesigns.com, and I'll be happy to assist you any way I can. Thank you for stopping by today. I hope you enjoyed what I showed you, and pick a pattern to get started stitching. Christmas is just around the corner. Thank you.